Everyone, how you guys doing? It's Grugs here, Legion Tactical Cutlery. Welcome back, troops, legionnaires, and new recruits. And also, welcome true budget EDC and prepping guests. I've got Rich on. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Good, man. Can anybody hear us out there? If anybody's on, let us know if you guys can hear us, if you could see us, etc. Hopefully this is working.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good with these earbuds in now, so I'm
right,
pretty
good. I don't know. You know what? Let me take a look on my phone because this is troops. This is our first time doing this, so let's see if we're on. Let me look.
It does say live up in your corner, 47, 48 seconds.
It says live. It says one watching. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, it'll probably take a while for people to get on, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. I can. Oh, great. Thanks, Samurai Bird. Appreciate it. All right, troops. So the whole purpose of this Legion Live is because I'll give you a rundown, and then I'm gonna have Rich, run with the ball. But basically, I was out doing a video, okay, and real fast, real quick mistake caused me to, cut my finger over here. I was alone on site, and I barely had a first aid in my pocket. I barely had, anything in my backpack. I have a huge first aid bag in my vehicle, and my vehicle was about a good 150 yards away, like a football field away or something like that. It was a far away. Basically, I had Band-Aids in my wallet, and I was bleeding like a sieve because I take some medication, some blood thinners, and I was just bleeding. And I had to, compose myself and, stop the video, wrap myself up. Luckily, I had a clean T-shirt. I had a clean, Samurai Bird. It was a dangerous issue. I had a clean towel, and I had Band-Aids of different sizes in my wallet, believe it or not. I did, man. But it was bleeding so much, and I tried to wrap everything. It just wasn't the greatest. And luckily, I had the T-shirt, and I used my knife to cut the sleeve of the T-shirt, wrap it around my finger. Then I had some wax string that I carry in my backpack, and I used that. So I improvised, you know what I mean? The best way that I could to bandage my finger until I was able to pack everything up and get back to my vehicle. And then in my vehicle, in this, medical bag that I had gauze, I had all kinds of things that I really didn't, notice before until I got there, and I was able to bandage myself up properly. And at one point, I wasn't really thinking about going to the emergency room, but then once I saw my finger and the way it looked, and I was like, all right, don't be stupid, take the hits from the wife and, get going to the emergency room. So the whole purpose of this now is, I want Rich to help us understand what's a great basic kit to take in your backpack as a content creator, as a hiker, as a bushcrafter, whatever it is that you're going to go do outdoors, and it involves some kind of a tool to cut, whether it's a saw, axe, knife. I want, Rich is an expert in this field. It's what his channel is about. So without further ado, Rich, man, would you please, inform us of some of this great stuff that your channel shows off all the time?
Sure, no problem. But first, I got this knife. It's the Ganzo.
That's right. What's in the pocket?
The Ganzo G. I keep forgetting the name of this thing. It's the G6804BK. And then I got the Swiss Army SAK Swiss Army 1. It's just one blade, A-locks. It weighs like nothing, man. I don't even know this is in my pocket half the time. So that is the two knives that I have on me, and a Victorinox Recruit that I have in a pouch. I have a pouch in my pocket too. The alpaca gear. This one's blaze orange. Whoa, blaze orange. So it's super bright and carry a bunch of stuff in there. Band-Aids, medication, whole bunch of stuff. So a little first aid kit.
Just real quick, since you mentioned, I forgot about what you carry, and I've got the Tack Knives Penchant, which is a button lock knives, which I'm not 100% convinced. Damn, this is weird. I'm not 100% convinced on a button lock, but the design is nice. The quality of this knife is nice. So let us know what you guys got in your pocket. Write it down in the comment section below. We would appreciate it, you guys. Okay, so Rich, man, how about you give us a basic rundown of a first aid kit and what you think that, somebody who enjoys the outdoors that might have a cutting tool, is a good idea to take out into the field, and then you can expand on that. You know what I'm saying? A little bit more advanced stuff, man. Take it away, bud.
All right, so I'm in the fire department, a volunteer fire department. So I'm an EMR, emergency medical responder. So I'm a certified first aid instructor. I'm a registered stop the bleed instructor with FEMA. I am in nursing. I'm going to be working in an ED. I work in medical now. So I have experience in this stuff, especially this would be a stop the bleed thing. And I teach those classes anyway. So if you're going to go out, whether it be survival, bushcraft, hiking, camping, whatever, you know what I mean? And you're carrying a edged instrument like a blade or something, or an axe even, you should carry like some stop the bleed stuff. And I mean, you could get bags. There's all kinds of different bags. Molly bags we were just talking about. Something you can attach on the outside of another bag. Jump bags. 511's got a lot of good stuff. But you should have something that you can carry on you. So I'll start with like this bag right here. This is a 511 medium flex GP, general purpose. This does have Molly attachments. These aren't actually Molly attachments, but they're some type of TPE, like plastic material, and they snap so you can get it off. You can take the whole thing off if you don't want it. You can attach it to your belt, because I've had it on my belt before when I worked in the infirmary at camp one time. I actually worked at camp nursing, so I would just snap that on the belt, even if you want to put it in the small of your back, whatever. You know what I mean? You got it. There is a little pocket right here in the front, and I just jammed a bunch of Band-Aids and stuff in there. So that's just some boo-boo kit stuff, but those are good to have because everybody needs Band-Aids, man. Seriously. It does have these zipper pulls with that same TPE material on, so you can get a good grip. They're long. They're like 3 inches long. So you can, if you're bleeding or something and you're under stress, you know what I mean? It's hard to grab stuff. So these are easy to grab, and you can fit quite a bit of stuff in here. So I'll just go over what I have in here. And this is some stop the bleed stuff. This would be more for like bigger stuff. Like if you just cut your finger, I'll show you some other stuff. But there's a 4 inch Israeli bandage in here. It's a pressure bandage, and it has a cleat. On my site, on this YouTube, on my YouTube, there's a playlist that says Stop the Bleed. So if you go to that playlist and just look at it, there's a whole bunch of people showing how to use things like this. So this is on there, how to use an Israeli bandage. So this is a pressure bandage, and it just compresses your wound, and it'll stop the bleeding. Because the best way to stop bleeding is still pressure, applying pressure. Also, this is compressed gauze. It's like 12 feet of gauze in here, and it's vacuum sealed. So
that's great.
You can get these. They went up a lot. I mean, I just ordered some more medical supplies, and I was looking at compressed gauze, and I think I got this for $3. Now it's like $6. Whatever. But hopefully I never have to use it. But also you can use it if you have a puncture wound. You can pack your wound with the compressed gauze to stop it from bleeding, and then put this over the top of it. So you know what I mean? So you just pack the hole in yourself, because I call it plugging holes. So you just plug the hole with the gauze, put this on top of it, apply pressure, until you can get to the doctor, hospital, whatever. Also, in here I have, this is H&H Medical. It's a mini compression bandage. So it's a compression bandage just like this, except it's smaller, more compact, and inside here is also gauze. So this has both of these things that are in this one package. So these are online. They're like $15. H&H Medical. It's got tack gauze and a mini tack compression thing on there, if you can see. So I got that in there, and then I just put some large Band-Aids in there. These are actually really big ones. So if you don't cut yourself that bad, but it's worse than a small Band-Aid, you can use these giant ones. So that is what I have in there, as well as this is a Slishman pressure wrap. It's a tourniquet, but it's a compression bandage, and it does occlude blood flow. I know people are always complaining and bitching and moaning. Oh, if you don't have a windlass, or you don't have a cat, or you don't have a soft tee, it's not a compression. It's not a tourniquet. But anything that occludes blood flow is considered a tourniquet. So if you have a T-shirt like you had and you stop bleeding with it, that's a hemostat. That stopped the blood flow. That was a tourniquet. It was just an improvised one. So this does occlude blood flow, because I got these because I was picked to test these out by an ER doctor on Rescue Essentials, and I put it on myself, and and it stopped my pulse. So so it stops blood flow. Like absolutely, you just got to put it on. And these are online on Rescue Essentials for $10, right? All you do is to self-apply. Like if you cut your arm or something, you put your arm through this and you pull it and you just wrap it around as tight as you can, and it'll stop you from bleeding. And this is the orange one, but there's also a black one. And then also he sent me this case, which also has a Molly clip on it. So if you want to clip this to your belt or something, you got it. And I put obviously gloves in there if it's for somebody else, because a lot of the stuff that I carry is for other people, not necessarily for myself. So those are just some things to put in a stop the bleed kit. And one that you can actually carry with you that isn't like, you know, gigantic. Like you don't want to carry a huge bag with you, fine. I put this in my truck, and if anybody ever needed it, if I didn't have anything else, I would still have this. So that's pretty awesome. So that's right. That. Now, other stuff that you can just carry in your pockets, right?
Actually, just before you move on, I just want everybody to know the day that I reached out to Rich, and you know, I asked him, you know, I basically had a very skeletonized, you know, medical stuff, if you want to call it that, in my backpack. He gave me some great suggestions, so I just want to share this real quick with you guys. Is this Equate first aid kit? I got this at Walmart, $7, guys and gals, $7. It's got 85 things. It's even got a splint for your finger or maybe a toe. Again, this isn't for anything major, but I realized something is better than nothing. So this is a nice little kit over here. And also my wife decided to get me another kit, which is this Johnson & Johnson version. This was a little bit more expensive. I guess you're paying for the name, but she just wanted to get something for me, something nice. So this is something, man. And now I've got something in my backpack. And it's really important. And you know what else is gold, Rich, that you taught me? Gauze. Actually, I found out.
Oh yeah, gauze
is gold. Because I was trying to put on the Band-Aids, and it was very hard to fold, especially when it was bleeding and stuff. So gauze, ladies and gentlemen out there, from my experience, you know, you should just have some sterilized gauze in your kit, in your backpack, just in case. Okay. Thanks, Rich.
So that's another thing. The stuff that doesn't cost that much, you can carry on you in a little bag or in your pocket. There's gauze, right? So this is 4x4 woven gauze pads. They're not sterile, but they come in a box. I got these on like eBay. Like you can buy them on Amazon, eBay, whatever. So they're just little 4x4 gauze pads. You could just grab a whole bunch of them, because sterility is important, but if you're bleeding to death, you're not the last thing, you know what I'm saying? You're not worried about your shit being sterile. So there's this, you can carry these, and then rolled gauze, right? So this is called conforming gauze. We call it cling because it clings when you wrap it around. This is 4x4, and it's a 4.1 yards of gauze, this thing. So if you got 2 of these and you got some of this and you cut yourself, you can easily wrap it around your finger like this and use this to compress the gauze, and now you got a pressure bandage. It costs you like 30 cents. Like, I got a case of these on, I think, eBay for like $5, and there's like 60 of them in there. So, and these are sealed, and they're just rolled up really tight. You can take 2 of these and some of this, and you're good to go. So that's something that's like super cheap that, you know what I mean, you're not spending a lot of money on, and you're good to go to, you know, get yourself hooked up until you can get to a doctor or something. So these are good.
Yeah,
and then
until you told me about these kits, man, I didn't realize how inexpensive to have, you know.
Yeah, you don't have to spend $1 million, right?
You know, especially if you could, like you say, immediately stop what you can and then go seek medical attention from, you know, whether it's at the hospital, whether it's at the campsite, from more experienced people, but at least you're taking care of that accident that happened right then and there. Because again, ladies and gentlemen, it happened to me. And I was like, damn, you know, I was just like, Jesus, man. You know, I had first composed myself from all the blood that was all over the place. Then the way the finger looked, you know, I had to get past that. And then, you know, I'm just happy that now I'm you know, everything is good, and now I'm a little bit more prepared. And, you know, and again, just hoping that you would teach some of us some better skills. You know what would be great, Rich, if you did some classes online. I don't know if that,
I can
that, but
yeah, I can do classes online because it's easy to do the first aid classes. I can do the stop the bleed classes online, but because it's government sponsored, I have to send you a bunch of videos, and you have to watch all the videos, and then you come back on and show me that you can do it, and then I can send you the certificate. So that's a different. But the first aid classes, I can do those online easy, no problem.
Oh, that would be great, man. All right, so what else have you got for us, man?
This is a windlass tourniquet. This is not a cat. This is one of the ones I use in training because you shouldn't just mess around and use your tourniquet all the time. So I bought some cheapies. You should always get like a decent tourniquet. Like I carry a soft T, so it's Tactical Medical Solutions. But this is what basically a cat looks like. I just have this strap to it as a demonstration. So it's a windlass tourniquet. I don't know if you've ever seen any of these, but let me take it apart. I have the marker on there so you can write down what time you put the tourniquet on. And basically it's just, a tourniquet, you write the time on there right there with the marker. Once you put it on, you take the tourniquet, you put your arm in here like so, and then you would pull it and then twist and twist and twist until you can't twist no more and the blood flow stops. Sometimes you might have to use more than one tourniquet. Hopefully not, because that's bad. But these are, like I said, this is not a name brand one. This is a cheap one that I got because I use it for training. But you can leave a tourniquet on for longer than people think, right? So up to 4 hours. I know everybody thinks it's 2 hours and then you take severe damage to your limb, like your limb's going to die, muscle damage and stuff like that. But up until 4 hours, you can leave it on. And once you put it on, you should never take it off. Wait till you get to the hospital, the ER or whatever, and they can take it off. But after 4 hours, then there could be problems. But there's a lot of misinformation online, and there's a lot of different stuff. Like some people say 2 hours, you'll see that. Some people say 4 hours, you'll see that. I would go to like a reputable site like Mayo Clinic, like that'll tell you up to 4 hours. And then after that, it has to be removed by a doctor or somebody in the ED. So to get a windlass tourniquet, but you should get like a cat or a soft T. There's a million of them out there. I think Sam makes them, Sam Splint, like they make tourniquets too now. So just a name brand one. They cost like maximum like $35. They're not $1 million. I see people buying cheap ones that are $10. And like I said, I was picked in this test by this ER doctor, and his son is like 9 years old, and he did a video. So you can go to his channel. It's Sam Slishman. And his son was tightening down the cheap one, and it broke. And it's a kid. So that's not going to do you any good if you're in a life and death situation. You're going to put your tourniquet on and it explodes. It's terrible. That's bad news. So you got to get a decent one. And like I said, they're not a lot. They're like $30, $35. So I don't know if people think that they're more than that. I'm not sure. Or even, like I said, you get one of those pressure wraps like this. This is an H&H Medical TK4L. So it's like an elastic strap with 2 S hooks on it. And then you just put it around your arm, you lock the S hook in, and then you just keep going and pulling it. And these are like $10. So I carry this because honestly, it's going to sound messed up, but it's cost effective. So if I'm like riding on an ambulance, or if I'm in the emergency room and I got to put a tourniquet on somebody, I don't want to use a $40 tourniquet. I'll use a $10 one. It sounds terrible, but you know what I mean? I got to use what I got because the hospital gives you those crap ones. It sounds unbelievable, but they buy those crappy ones. So I buy these. These are really good. They work. Not as good as a cat, but they still work. So that's an H&H Medical. They were just bought out by a different company too, so it might be under a different name. Starts with an S. I can never remember. Safeguard bought them. So look for that if you go on Rescue Essentials. So that's cool. So just get yourself a decent tourniquet. If you cut yourself that bad, hopefully you don't. But I'm trying to just like expand on it for like a trauma.
How bad does the cut have to be? To actually use a tourniquet? I mean, is even a stab wound something that you would want to use a tourniquet for?
It depends on how deep, like for a stab wound. So I have this, right? This is EMS gauze. This is a hemostatic agent. It's got Quick Clot in it, which is made with kaolin. Or you could get combat gauze, or you get Celox or whatever. So if you stabbed yourself and you had a hole in you, you can plug it with this, right? You can stick it in or you poke it and plug it in. So there's 3 ways to stop bleeding as far as stop the bleed goes. Stop the bleed will teach you direct pressure, which is always the best way still. But if direct pressure doesn't work, you should pack the wound with something like this or compressed gauze. And then once you pack the wound, if that doesn't work, then you can use a tourniquet. But it has to be a pretty bad cut, I would say. So there's capillary cuts, right, where you just basically cut yourself and you can use a Band-Aid where they just trickle a little bit, not much blood. That's a capillary cut. Then you cut your veins. It's a venous cut. It's more of a flowing flowing cut. It's not horrible, but it's worse than capillaries. And then there's an arterial bleed where it's spurting out. Then you should use a tourniquet for sure. If blood is shooting out, like, you know what I mean? So also, if you stabbed yourself with a leg, you have to worry about your femoral arteries down there. Your arm's got like a bunch of nerves in it. There's arteries in your arms, ulnar, radial. There's like, you know what I mean? It just basically have to check on how much blood is coming out of you. Like, you know what I mean? So if you're like, holy crap, that's a lot of blood, you should use a tourniquet. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if it's not like too bad, this is an H&H, again, this is a compression bandage by H&H Medical, but it's not the 2X. This is just a compression bandage, and this is designed for small to mid-sized wounds. So if it's bleeding, but it's not horribly bleeding, but it's not stopping, you can use this and wrap it around your arm and then go to the doctor. Maybe you need stitches or something. And these are like $12, $15. You know what I mean? They sell these online. Again, this company was bought out by that other company, so they rebranded it. It's just in like a gray package now, but it's the same thing. So if you type in mini compression bandage, it'll come up. So, and these aren't very expensive, and you can put these in your pocket, because I carry this, and I carry this in my pocket on my cargos at work. So if anything happened, like an active shooter, at least I would have this. You know what I mean? Not that, God forbid. Oh, and I also carry this. We carry PPE. So this is a little County Com glove holder. There's 3 pairs of nitrile gloves in here, so I can have PPE. So, and that's more for other people. You're not going to need rubber gloves for yourself, obviously. It's you. So that's just a few other things. And especially for like you, so you're on blood thinners, right? So you need something to stop your blood because you bleed more. So hemostatic agents like Quick Clot, EMS gauze, Celox powder, stuff like that. You can carry that with you. They actually sell a bleed stop powder at Walmart. I can't really, say how good it is. I don't know. I never used it. I'm not really the hemostat powder guy. I think the gauze is better, but you know what? They do say that people with, bleeding issues and people that are on like blood thinners should carry that powder. So you cut yourself shaving or something, you can just put it on, or even this, like this, but this is more expensive. You know what I mean? You don't want to just use it for no reason. So
yeah, I think I'm going to look that up. I'm going to look that up. Sure, man.
The powder at Walmart isn't very expensive. It's got lufaregno on the front of it. It costs like $5 for 2 packages. And I saw videos on it, and it looks like it works. I mean, so yeah, you could get it. That way you're not spending a lot of money. And then if you do happen to cut yourself, you can, a little cut, you could test it out to see if it works, and you spend $5. If it doesn't, whatever, get Celox. Celox is definitely worth the money, but it's more expensive.
Nice.
So that's just some stuff.
Info, man. So hopefully after this, you'll give me, all the links and stuff like that. I'll make sure that I'll pop it all up in the description in the comment section for everybody to go take a look. And I'm sure that YouTube is full of videos.
So check out Skinny Medic. There's a guy on there called Skinny Medic. He's a paramedic, and he's also a gun owner. And he posts a ton of videos about what to put in a trauma kit, what to do. It's awesome. I got some of his videos are in that playlist that I have on my page.
Oh, nice.
So he's got a lot going on. Yeah, and he's a paramedic, so that's great stuff.
That is good to know. Now you got some pretty advanced medical stuff, right? Some medical kits. If you
I have I have smaller stuff too. I have this, right? So this is my jump bag. Obviously, you can buy a bag like this. I'm in the fire department, so I carry a jump bag. But and I could also bring it to the ED, but that would be crazy because it's an ED, right? But so there's 2 pockets on the outside with a bunch of just stuff that I put in there, and then there's a pocket under here, and then there's a main area. And I got this from a company actually in Long Island. They're in Deer Park. So this is ASA TACMed. It was like a $25 bag. I mean, you could buy a $100 bag, but why? I've had this bag for like 5 years and nothing's happened to it. So why waste money on, you know what I mean? This is on eBay. The company is ASA TACMed. It does have the Star of Life, and then it has reflectors so you can find it easily in the dark if you're out camping. And where the hell's my freaking my med bag? There you go. You can see it. So
I have something similar that I had bought during the pandemic because I thought the shit was going to hit the fan back then, man. I thought there was going to be shooting, stabbing. So I decided to buy a med kit bag that's about maybe a little bit bigger, and it has a stethoscope. It has all kinds of stuff, But I figure for the price that they were selling it, for, I just threw it in the back of my car. And I figured, God forbid, if I ever, had an accident or saw an accident, that I could bring the bag and try and help as much as possible. Or if a medical guy came on site, I had the bag available for that person to help them out. But I'll tell you what, that bag came in handy once I got back to my vehicle, man, because I found gauze in there. I found some other stuff in there tape. Oh, the tape that I wrapped around the gauze to keep it in a place, man. Oh man, that's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Oh yeah. So if you get a bag and you want to fill it up with more stuff, you know, if you want to make a trauma kit, because there's IFAKs, which are individual first aid kits. I don't really carry IFAKs. I carry like trauma response kits because most of the stuff I carry is for other people anyway. And then even if I have to use it, whatever, I still got it. You know what I mean? So you can get certain things that you should put in a more advanced kit. Obviously, you know, for a minor just first aid kit, you should have one like the one you got. Like this is the one I have. It's the same thing. It's like $6-7. There's 85 pieces in it. You have some good stuff. The butterfly closures are good in case you cut yourself. There's also a guide in here that you should read if you're not, you know, familiar with first aid, because that's really the best thing you should have is knowledge. You should take a class or something like that. You can do them online. They cost like $50. Seriously, they're not expensive. I'll do one for nothing, whatever, if we have time. But there's a bunch of stuff in here, and it's solid. You know what I mean? And it's like 85 pieces, and it only costs under $10. So that's a good boo-boo kit to have. And then you can carry. Yeah, so then you can carry other stuff with it. If you wanted to, like compression bandage and gauze, and you know some other stuff. Because I don't think there's a lot of gauze in here. But you can get one of those rolled gauzes, and you can open it up and put more stuff inside and compact it just so you have it all in one thing if that's what you want to do to keep, you know, minimal space. So, but those are good to get. They're at Walmart in the HBA section. You know, they don't cost nothing. They cost like $7. So
yeah, man, Walmart was a great place to go look for this stuff, man. Easy, cheap, and there's a lot of stuff in here. You know, there's a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Here.
So you should have.
A couple content creators had mentioned you could add. You know, you just keep on adding stuff to the kits.
Well, that's you know what I see a lot of people say that, like you can add, and then yeah, that's cool, but then it's not a trauma kit, right? It's still just a boo-boo kit with now it's got a tourniquet in it. Like, you know what I mean? If you're gonna make a trauma kit, you should make a trauma kit, right? You can't take a $7 Walmart with Band-Aid kit and say it's a trauma kit. It's not. You know what I mean? I can't add this and say it's a trauma kit. It's really not. So this is a boo-boo kit, and you should have it without question, because if you don't cut yourself bad, what are you going to use? You're not going to use a tourniquet, right? You're going to use Band-Aids. So you should have that. But if you want to make a trauma kit, I have a trauma kit, but you should put some things in it. Like you should have trauma shears, right? These are the generic ones. They cost like $2. Like
Yeah.
I mean, I have X shears because they're like $45, and then the sheath was like $20. I paid like $60-70 for mine, but I'm using it in a medical sense all the time. So I have those for cutting. They cut through boots. They cut through clothes. I've cut tree branches with them. Like, seriously, I really have. So you should always have like trauma shears, and that seems stupid, but if you cut yourself, like you stab yourself in the leg and you can't get your pants off, you're going to need to see where the wound is so you can cut your pants off or something like that for somebody else. So you should have trauma shears without question in a kit. And then you should have like bleeding control, obviously. Like this is a 4-inch Israeli. I showed that earlier. This is a 6-inch Israeli. So there's 2 different sizes. So there's another thing about these, they're sterile. They do have dates on them, but the thing with that is inside is the bandage. The bandage is inside another package. So that's vacuum sealed, and then it's vacuum sealed on this package, and then it's radiated with gamma radiation. There's no way this is ever not going to be sterile. They're starting to put on here that as long as it's not compromised, it'll stay sterile forever. So you could get these. I get these right from Israel because they're just better, I think, than the American versions. They're just solid. It's like a rock. Like, it's vacuum sealed. And these are costing like $10 a piece. So you get just the 2.
These are compression kits. They tighten up.
Yeah. These are compression bandages. So like I said, go on that website on my YouTube, check out the playlist for Stop the Bleed. And basically it's a bandage with a 4x4 pad. Some of them have 4x6 pads. So this is a 4-inch pad, 6-inch, the size, the length and everything. And it's got an applicator in it. So you would put the pad where the wound is, obviously, and then you come around with the stretch. Yeah, and then you go through, and then you go through the clip, and then you pull tight, and then you just keep going around and around. So that's just one's bigger than the other. So, but there's all kinds. This is a compression bandage too. There's all different kinds. These are just the Israeli brand or kind. It's made by Pierce's, and these are on Amazon, but for some reason they're better on eBay. I don't know. The guy from Israel has them on eBay, and I get them, and it takes like forever to get to you, but at least you have them. So that's more of a thing that you should put in a trauma kit for bleeding. So you should use that for sure. And then you can use obviously bandages, rolled gauze, like I said, like this stuff, the rolled gauze you have. Then there is the gauze pads that you can put in there. I have I have lidocaine patches, but that's something like for pain. So you can use that. Also, not that you necessarily need to put this in, and I'm not even sure how good this stuff works. It's a bleeding control spray. I got this from the fire department actually, so you can use that.
Something is better than nothing. You know what I mean, man?
Right. So you should always have that, at least some kind of bleeding control. You should have a compression bandage. You should have a tourniquet. This is a Soft T Gen 4 made by Tactical Medical Solutions. I like this over the Cat. This one was like $35 because it's more metal and it has a clip. So if I have to put a tourniquet around a pinned leg or limb, I can unclip it and I don't have to, mess around and unthread it. It just has a clip where I don't have to unthread it. I can just unclip it, put it around the limb, and then tighten down and twist. So it's Tactical Medical Solutions, Soft T, $35. They're awesome.
Right. I gotta tell you, man, that tourniquets, the whole concept and the whole idea does scare me a little bit, but it will save your life if you're bleeding, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And most of the injuries that come, trauma, like bleeding, and if you're in the woods, that's a whole different thing because you're outside of people reaching you quickly. Yeah. But on average, for the Stop the Bleed class, I always say that it takes an average of 7 to 15 minutes for first responders to reach you when you call them, and you can bleed to death in less than 5 minutes.
Jesus.
So it's best to take classes. Stop the Bleed classes are free. Fire departments have them. I have them. It's easier to do them in person. It's more of a pain in the ass online, but if you go to a fire department, they'll have it, stuff like that, and usually it's free. So always get a tourniquet, and I suggest these ones because you know what? I'll take metal over plastic any day. So it needs to have the metal in them. So the windlass is metal, the clips are metal. This is solid, seriously. So I got that, and I have it vacuum sealed not because it's sterile, but just to keep it clean, more or less.
Right. That's
so
a good idea.
You should have like a compression bandage. You should have a tourniquet and some other way to stop bleeding, like this. This is EMS gauze, right? There's tons of different kinds of hemostatic gauze. It has a mineral in this. It's called kaolin. It's a clay-like material that helps your blood clot. So whether you're filling a hole with this or whether you're just putting it on, it'll assist in clotting and stop the bleeding faster if it has a hemostatic agent in it. This is rolled, but you can also get the 4-inch flat. You can just put it on. This one's rolled so you could wrap it around if you wanted to, or you can just stuff it in. So this is on Rescue Essentials, like $20. The combat gauze is more expensive. It's like $40. It's expensive. I would say get this because it's not that much, and it does last for about 5 years. And to be honest with you, I've seen a lot of things about medication and the expiration dates. The expiration dates are more put on there by the FDA for sterility, not for the medication running out of power or so. Harvard University did a study with the government, and I read it because the U.S. Army had all of this medication for so long ago, and they were like, I wonder how good it is. So Harvard went in and they tested the medication, and 10, 15, 20 years, the medication hardly lost any potency. So it's more to cover the FDA's ass than it is for actual. It's more than actual, it hardly loses any of its potency after a certain period of time. And this, if you're in a professional environment and it expires, you probably shouldn't use it. Because if you use it and it doesn't work and you're working in a hospital, they're going to say, well, how come you used something that was expired? Whatever. But if you're doing it on your own, I don't see this kaolin going bad. It's made out of clay. Like it, you know what I mean? When's that going to expire? They're more concerned about the sterility of it. So get yourself like some kind of a hemostatic gauze or a powder like Celox. Like I said, I don't really like the powder, but people use it. If that's what you can get, that's what you can get.
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting those packages that you're just showing right there, man.
Yeah, this is on Rescue Essentials. It's like $14, but they're shipping. So it ends up being like $20. But there is 2 different kinds. So you can get the rolled or the other one, which is just like a pad, a 4x6 pad, I think it is. And then there's instructions on the back on how to use it if you need those, So that's that. So that's more bleeding control. You can also get something like this, chest seals, right? These are hyphen vent chest seals for puncture wounds, more for your chest area, your pleural cavity. So if you get stabbed in the chest or something.
You could fall on your knife, God forbid. I'm not taking anything for granted anymore. It's a possibility. I could be walking to go to the chopping block, and I could accidentally fall and stab myself. If I'm not smart enough to put it back into the sheath, you know, it is a possibility, and it might not be that life threatening that you're going to die right then and there. But you know, if you gotta put something around it, that's perfect. You know.
Right. Well, if you puncture a chest cavity, your pleural space has negative pressure. So when you breathe in and breathe out, your lung inflates and deflates. If you puncture that and air gets in, you have a sucking chest wound, your lung will collapse. So that's called pneumothorax. If air gets in there, it'll push your trachea. That's how you tell if it's a tension pneumothorax. It starts pushing your organs. It'll push your throat to the whatever side. So if I get it on the left side, the tension pneumothorax, air will get in the pleural cavity and it'll start to push my trachea to the right, and that's called tracheal deviation. So that means you're kind of screwed. You got to get to the hospital. So if you put this over it like this, it'll stop air from going in, but it'll allow air to go out so you can get to the hospital.
Oh, really?
Like if you get, yeah, so like if you get shot in the chest or something and you have a sucking chest wound, you probably should cover it up with a hyphen vent. This one's vented, so it'll allow air in but not allow air, or I mean it'll allow air out but not allow air in. So that's for collapsed lung. This is also, you can use it. It's H&H Medical. It is a wound seal kit, so you can use this as a chest seal, but it can also be used to cover wounds. There's a hydrogel, so you can actually put it on something that's bleeding. I mean, that's how they have it shown here, if you can see the instructions. So there's a bunch of things, but I got the hyphen vent. It's by North American Rescue. That's probably the best one. But H&H does have chest seals. They're like bowling. Like everybody has them. There's a million different kinds of chest seals. I just happen to have North American Rescue. But just avoid getting shot in the chest and you'll be all right.
Well, yeah, but let me ask you something. In a pinch, can you use that for your arm or for
this one? This one you can, not this one. That's why I like this one, because it's a molded. You can bend it around, you know what I mean? And it has a hydrogel, and this is good for 5 years as well. Like this is so good to 2026. So, but like I said, you know, I don't know about this one though. This stuff might lose its flexibility after a while. It might dry out over the time. I mean, but it's still good. So, this is wound seal kit. These are on eBay, H&H Medical, whatever the name of that company is. I can't remember at the bottom. I keep forgetting that. So check those out. Those are good. And this is on North American Rescue. All of this stuff should be on Rescue Essentials. So like Rescue Essentials is one website with like a ton of medical stuff from all these other different companies. So if you go to rescueessentials.com and you type in, you know, chest seal, it'll come up with 100 chest seals. Like seriously.
Oh, nice. Well, again, I'll get with you after this. We'll get the links and stuff like that, and I'll make sure I put it up for everybody in case, you know, troopers out there are interested in just grabbing this stuff, no matter what, man. So,
right. So so that's like I was saying, for a trauma kit, you should have trauma shears, you should have bleeding control, you should have something for tension pneumothorax, collapsed lung, which is a chest seal, and then you should have airway management, which I mean, not necessarily for yourself, but these are OPAs, and I have an NPA in here as well. An NPA, so it's oral, nasal. So if this is a 28, which is supposedly the normal size, you stick it up their nose, it goes down their throat, it allows them to breathe. This one goes in your mouth, you put it in, you turn it, it allows them to breathe if they have a blocked airway. So you should always have airway management.
I actually have those in my car kit, in that big blue bag that I got. I got those in there, you know.
Awesome. These are nothing. These cost, I don't even know, not very much. So there's all these different sizes, from infant to extra large adult for the OPA. OPAs are actually easier to use. I think you just put it in and you twist it down. There's 100 different ways to do it. People put it in up and then twist it down, put it in sideways and then twist it down. I put it in sideways and twist it down. It's less travel. Like, you know what I mean? So there's those for breathing.
I think it might be just a good idea to do like a basic class, you know what I mean? Just for oneself, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, NPA. It has a bevel on it. You put the bevel facing the midline, and push it up their nose, and it should come down. I have
that's the breathing.
Yeah, this is lubrication gel you put on it. In my first responder class, the instructor put this up his nose. He did it. He put it up his nose. He was gagging and everything. That's effing funny, dude. Yeah. So this will help you to breathe, or somebody else. And this is another bleeding control thing that I think is awesome. This is a Israeli IDF bandage, Israeli Defense Force. It's not the same thing as this Israeli bandage. It is more of gauze. So this is right now a little compressed gauze that has 4 strands of gauze going out of it. So if you get cut, you put this on there, you can wrap it with the gauze that's in here. It's all self-contained. So this is used by the Israeli soldiers. They put these in their kits. And these are these are cheap and they went up. I mean, so you can find these on eBay, Amazon, or whatever. They used to be like $4. Now they're like probably 10. It's like everything's gone up. It's ridiculous, man. But these have like lifespans of 20, 30. It's what it says on it.
Wow.
like and it's not, again, if it's not compromised, it's probably not. And sterility is the last of your concerns when you're bleeding to death. So, like I said, this would have been something really good for you, like because it's gauze and it has the wrap on it. So you could have just put it on your finger and wrapped it up.
Yeah.
And I mean, look at literally the size of it. It's nothing. You put it in your back pocket, walk around with it easily. So these are awesome. If you can find these, I mean, don't pay like $20 for them because that's out of control. But if you can find these for like, $10 and under, that's good. Amazon, eBay, type in Israeli IDF bandage. This one's from Israel because it's got Israeli rating on it. So that's another really awesome thing to use for bleeding control. So those are all the things you should probably have with you. You got to have the trauma shears. You got to have bleeding control. You should have a tourniquet, a compression bandage, Band-Aids. You should have chest seals in case, God forbid, you stab yourself in the chest or somebody else does. And also you can carry stuff. I carry, this is my jump bag, but this is burn relief gel. So if somebody gets burnt, it's a pad that has gel on it so you can cover the burn with it. So like say somehow you're camping and you fall into the campfire when you're drunk.
No doubt.
Like when you're drunk or you're drinking and partying you got this, you can put it on there till you get to some assistance. So that's just another thing that you can carry. Is this burn gel. And also, it sounds silly, but this is a blanket, a Mylar blanket in case you get cold and stop hypothermia. So if you get too cold, it's better than nothing. Like if you don't have a blanket, you can use one of these and reflect heat back into your body to keep you from getting hypothermic.
And they're very thin. You could just fit them in your pocket without
right.
Issue.
This comes in a box. I got this at Walmart, right? It comes in a box. I just took it out of the box to save space and put it in a plastic bag. That's how much space it takes up. It's in a plastic bag. Burn gel, Lightning products. You go on their website. They got this. This stuff's awesome. I got a couple of those. See what else I got in here. Cravats, right? Triangular bandages. These aren't sterile, but you know what? It's 40 by 40 by 56. So it's a stretch wrap. And if you didn't have anything else, you had this in your pocket, you could use this to wrap around your cut to stop yourself from bleeding. Or you could use this in conjunction with like a piece of gauze or something, like a 4x4 pad. So if you had a gauze pad, you could stick it on there and wrap it up with this. So, and these cost like $2. Like literally, I got this for fire part. This is nothing. It don't cost anything. So, and then
awesome information.
So also from Tactical Medical Solution is a blast bandage, because you never know when somebody's going to step on an effing landmine. Like so this is just a giant bandage, right, for amputations and stuff. Like God forbid you cut your hand off when you're chopping wood. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's unlikely, but like, you got it. You know what I'm saying? My wife was like, "Why do you have that?" I'm like, "I don't know." Like they were selling it, so I have it. Like,
it's definitely possible to chop yourself with an axe, because I saw it on Alone. Some lady was talking into the camera. She was all smiles, and next thing you know, she chops a piece of her hand, and she had to tap out. She called in and tapped out. I don't know if anybody saw that, but. Listen, man, again, I'm not taking anything for granted, man. It's a possibility. If you're alone out there, it could happen,
Yeah, like lots of stuff. Another good thing to have, too, is a SAM splint. So if you, like, break your leg or something. So these things are awesome. You can use them as a splint. They mold, so you could wrap it around your wrist. You can use them as a cervical collar if you hurt yourself and you have to put it around your neck. So you can use it for C-spine. They're moldable, so you can use it for whatever. It's just something to... It shows pictures of how to use it for like an arm, for like a leg, and also, like I said, you can use it as a collar. So if somebody falls down and hurts their neck and you got to get them out of the woods or something, you should probably wait there. But if you can't, you know what I mean, you can use this as a collar. So these are awesome. And then I just have some more span gel. This is just some more.
How difficult do you think it is to put a splint on like a broken leg, man? You know what I mean? If you're alone out there, I mean, I know a person's going to do what they have to do, but I hope it never happens to anybody. But somebody's going to have to, man up and woman up and put that shit on in pain and stuff, man. Yeah.
You got to put it on like this. I mean, it would be difficult for sure. Depends on how if you break a femur, you're kind of screwed anyway. You got to go to the hospital and have surgery, and they'll put pins and all kinds of shit in your leg. But You know,
I guess it's good to have if somebody comes and helps you out, and you could say, "Hey, look, I got a splint. Help me put it on." You know.
I mean, you could use. There's different kinds of splints. It depends on where you break your leg. You know what I mean? If you break like a femur and you're by yourself, you're screwed, man. Like, you know what I mean? You should always travel with more than one person anyway. But like, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, you can't because you're like, you know, doing videos. But I would like use a SAM splint, or even get two of them. You know what I mean? So you could put one on one side of your leg and one on the other side of your leg. It will go all the way down, and then have something to strap it together with. Because like it shows here, it's got somebody strapping something on there. I mean, even if you had paracord, you could tie it on there with paracord, like anything. Improvise stuff, you know, carry. I always carry micro cord, and mostly it's in case I break a shoelace or my belt falls apart or something, I can use the micro cord. It has like 100-pound test, and it's like super. Just you go on Amazon or eBay and type in microcord, and it comes up with these little. It looks like thread, but it's got like 150-pound strength. Yeah, it's great. It's crazy.
Another important thing is when you're alone out there is definitely try and use as much common sense as possible. You know what I mean? When trying to do all this stuff. I mean, you know, when I wrapped that T-shirt and used that string, I didn't know what I was doing when I was wrapping my finger, but I just used some form of common sense,
right,
you know, to bandage myself to stop the bleeding. So, I mean, I think that's also an important part about you know, first aid. And you know what, a phone, with good reception, because you know, after you know, if you're alone out in the woods and you do patch yourself up, you definitely want to get some kind of help to you. You know what I mean? Especially if you can't walk or you're limping or whatever, you know?
Yep.
So,
and then last, what else do I have? Oh, I got this. This is a bag I carry in my truck. It's a trauma response bag. I hated this bag, right? I got it from Alpaca because I'm an alpaca ambassador. I was like, I don't really like this bag. It's like, I like the way it looks. It's small. I don't like the way it opens. But my wife was like, you can make it into a medical bag. And I was like, that's an awesome idea. So it's got like this magnet. You just slide it. I mean, I figured it. And then you open it up. And then I got some, you know, basic stuff. I have another. This is a large compression bandage. This is a flat fold H&H compression bandage for severe trauma, actually. This is military grade stuff. H&H is supplying stuff to the troops. So that's why I always get H&H Medical. I mean, like I said, they were bought out, but hopefully they don't kind of go the way of the dodo, because this stuff is awesome. So I have that in there. Again, this is a triangular bandage, just in case I have that. And then again, the gauze pads, like, you know, I didn't show any because they're in this kit, but there's a bunch of gauze pads. These are 4x4s. This is a non-adherent one, so it's not woven. So I have those. I have a bunch of gauze pads. And also, if you don't have a chest seal, you can use petroleum gauze. So this is gauze, but it's coated in Vaseline. So if you have a hole in your chest and you stick this on it, you can stop the air from going in. But if you want to vent it, you
have to open it up.
No, you stick it on your chest and tape the corners. It'll leave a little, you know what I mean? So I have that in there, and that doesn't cost anything. That stuff is like, I don't even know what I paid for that. Some ridiculously cheap amount of money. So that's my, that would be my, my chest seal, just for space reasons, because I don't have a lot of room in this bag, right? And then I also have the roll gauze in there in case this is a small one, of roll gauze. I have that in there.
Roll gauzes are great, man.
Yeah, and then it has a pocket, and in the pocket is combat medic tape, right? It's duct tape. It's just H&H Medical calls it combat medic tape. It's like 2 inches long, wide by 100 feet long. So there's 100 feet of duct tape in there. So you have that. If you have to tape somebody up, or like I said, you have a SAM splint and you got to stick it to your leg, you can wrap this around it and keep it on your leg. So you have that. I have a trauma pad in here. Like, this is just a small. They make these little tiny trauma pads that absorb blood. So it's like a really small one, but it absorbs like twice as much as it can, you know, hold there. So that's cool. What else? There? Lubricant. I got an NPA. I already showed you guys what an NPA is. I have one of those pressure wraps in there. And so, yeah, so I have a lot of stuff in this little bag. And then it also, on the back, has another zipper. There's more stuff in here. I have a SWAT tee. This is probably the worst tourniquet in the history of tourniquets. Is a SWAT tee, right? It's H&H Medical. It's a big, giant rubber band. I mean, it's better than nothing, but it's more, if you have a cut and you have this with you, it's almost impossible. Yeah, but it's almost impossible to put on by yourself. You got to grab it with your teeth. We use this for one of our classes in first responder classes. It sucks, but you got to put this on somebody else, and you can put a pad underneath it. You can make a pressure bandage out of this thing. It is a big rubber band. It's useful for something. Like, you know what I mean? It's just not easy to use by yourself. That's all. So I have that in there because I paid for it. And it's easy to carry around too. So you put it in your pocket. It's just really, really small. I have one of those bandages. And you know what? Because I'm a first responder, I have glucose gel for diabetics, people who have low blood sugar. So I carry glucose gel just in case I got. Don't eat them. We ate them one time. It's like liquid crack. No, it's pure sugar, dude. So if your blood sugar drops really low, you eat one of these, it'll bounce it back up super fast. And then like, which people don't even think about really carrying is like little antibiotics and Band-Aids, and like I have iodine in here. Like if you got to clean out a cut, so you just carry a little bag of that stuff, just random stuff. So.
Yeah, I'm going to be carrying bacitracin. I got Neosporin. I'm going to be carrying that from now on too, man.
Yeah, so it's just a bunch of stuff, and you got it with you. And then, like I said, I got Narcan because I have a OD kit in my truck too, because people are out of control with the heroin here. So they're actually doing a thing where they put boxes up on the telephone poles with Narcan in the boxes, so people can have it in case somebody they know overdoses. And they have billboards up all over the city where they want everybody to carry Narcan in case you ride by and see somebody ODing to help them out. So I got Narcan in my truck too. And rolled. Yeah. And I carry rolled gauze because, somebody shoots up, they're bleeding. I got to wrap up their arm and then give them Narcan, whatever. So, and Narcan is another thing you can go get at certain places, and it's free. So if you want to help other people, that is. I mean, unless you're shooting up heroin and you need Narcan, whatever.
At least you got to watch out for those needles when you're approaching these people too, right?
Yeah, you got to watch out for everything. I was on a call one time, a fire call. This guy hit a telephone pole. And he was okay, but he was walking around or something outside, and I was like, "What the hell is this guy doing?" So the trooper comes up and he goes, "What's in the back of the car?" And I said, "It's a mess." The guy had like open vodka bottles back there, tons of clothes. It was like a dump, like just a ton of garbage. So the trooper starts poking around. I was like, dude, don't go around reaching in there. There could be needles in there. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, you know what I'm saying? So he stopped. He's like, I have gloves on. I'm like, are they Kevlar gloves? Because if there's a needle, it's gonna go through your gloves. Like, you know what I mean? And then he was like, oh, all right, good point, bro. So you got to watch it, man. You can't just start grabbing stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know. Because you get stuck with a needle, you automatically go into the ED. Automatically. And you got to get a bunch of blood tests to make sure you don't got AIDS or some other disease, Hep C or whatever.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
No joke.
So you got to watch out. You got to watch out when you're helping other people. I mean, you're good when you're by yourself, and just try to, make yourself, like I said, just get some trauma shears, get some bleeding control, compression bandages, tourniquet, stuff like that, possibly hemostatic gauze or powder, get chest feels, and get first aid class. You can carry burn control if you want. There's gel, hydrogel spray. I actually have that too. But then there's also, like I said, those lightning pads. That's burn pads for severe burns. That hydrogel spray actually works for sunburns. When I was in the camp nursing, this girl from England, she was from Great Britain, and they're like really pale skinned people. She like got burnt the F up. Like, I mean, she was blistered. So we had to use lidocaine spray, and that was that hydrogel stuff. So it's really good for sunburns too, if you're out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Just wear sunscreen. Wear sunscreen, though, seriously. You won't have to worry.
Really great info. There's a lot of people over here, they're really appreciating everything that you're saying, man. And I don't know if anybody's got any questions for Rich, but we've been going on for about an hour. Take up a lot of people's time. It's Sunday right before work, so I know not a lot of people came on, but that's okay. Hopefully a lot of people will see this, after the fact, and they'll learn something from it. But check out Rich of True Budget EDC and Prepping, man. Make sure you get to his channel, subscribe to the man. He's got a lot of good info, a lot of good.
I'm also going to do a giveaway for this video. I didn't get it yet. It's on the way. It's in the mail. I ordered it. It's a small trauma kit, and it's from Adventure Medical. So as soon as it comes in, I'll put the video link up. I'll tag Grugs. I'll tag you in it, and all you got to do is I'll put it in the description. But subscribe to my channel, and subscribe to Legion Tactical, and I'll enter. That'll make you enter, and you comment on the video.
Rich, I have no problem you doing it on your own channel, man. Just Just do it on your own tree. Hey, water the field. What's up? Just do it on your own channel, bro. It's not that big of a deal, man. And you know, we'll direct everybody to your channel and do this this awesome giveaway. I think
as soon as it comes, it's good. I was thinking about doing it anyway because I know people like Conan's EDC, Easy Dad Carry Conan. He goes camping and he's got kids, and it's not a lot of stuff, but it's a little compact kit with bleeding control. It comes with a sponge like this, a quick clot sponge. It has some gloves, it has some gauze, it has some stuff in it. You know, if something does happen a little bit more severe than a regular cut, you can use the hemostatic gauze on them, and it's in a little bag. You can use the bag as a chest seal even, and it's compact. It's probably like this big. You can put it in a pack, carry it with you hiking, because I know it's camping season. People are going to be out hiking, they're going to be out doing stuff, and you got to bring something, you know, so you got to bring something with you in case something happens. A lot of people are, you know, obviously on our channels are carrying knives and edged instruments, axes, whatever for bushcraft and survival, and you can
even the, you know, the fatwood fires, you know, like I'm glad you showed that little burn kit, because you know, that something like that could go wrong. You know, you could definitely burn yourself, and I didn't even think about that until you showed it. So all good information, man. Really appreciate this, man. This, you know, thank you very much for,
you're welcome.
You know, hopping on. I hope this was useful to everybody. You know, but again, you know, I wanted to do this because I did have an stupid fucking camera. I did have an accident.
Things happen, though. Things happen.
And I thought, man, you know, I think this would be good for a lot of people to know. So, again, go check out Rich at True Budget EDC and Prepping. He's got a great channel. Give the guy some support. He's got a giveaway coming. And, you know, my channel, I'm almost at 3,000. If you guys could spread the word, let people know. I'm so close, man. I think I'm less than 60 or 70 away or something like that. It's just a milestone. I really don't care about the money or whatever. It's just a milestone, hitting that 3,000.
Yeah.
You know,
I just hit 1,000, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, nice! Congratulations, man.
But it took me a little bit longer. I don't really care about the amount of subs. I talk a lot of trash. I talk a lot of shit. So, like, you know what I mean? So I don't care. I just try to get stuff out there for people, so they can get it at a good price. I don't care about no $3,000 knives or, you know, super expensive gear.
Yeah.
No, you got right. Something works. And people don't, and not everybody has, you know, $1 million to be spending on stuff.
Yeah,
so.
No kidding, man. I think Gear That Works is the greatest thing ever. All right.
It's the same with the first aid stuff too. You don't have to buy.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah. I mean, look.
Yep, that's great. That's awesome.
$7, man, for this, and it's got 85 different items: bandages, antibacterial bandages, butterfly closures. It's got some topicals and medicines like alcohol pads, antiseptic wipes. I mean, $6. Damn.
You know what else I forgot to mention is hydration. When you're out, there's this stuff I use in nursing. It's called Liquid IV. It's supposed to allow you to hydrate faster. And I use this because, like I said, I was in camp nursing. I was in a camp with 300 teenage girls, and none of them would drink water. They'd be out running around all day, coming into the infirmary talking about I'm dizzy. I'd give them this stuff, and boom, they'd be on the road. So this is something at Walmart. It costs like $8 for like 6 of them. And it's in a box. That's it.
I was thinking about, you know, clean water to clean your wound, you know.
You carry it in a bottle, like purified water. Like, you know, just bottled water. Then you can clean it out. If you don't have anything else, if you don't have iodine or alcohol pads, which you're going to burn like hell anyway, they tell you to, like, use water. Like, for burns, when we take our first responder class into nursing and stuff, they always say use water. That's how you clean it out. So if you have a bottle of water, there you go. Save one bottle just in case something happens.
Yeah, man, no doubt, man. I had a bottle of water and some seltzers with me. I used that bottle of water to try and clean it out, the wound as best as possible too. Oh man, it was, let me tell you something, man. I was really trying to get through the squeamish part of it all, man. You know what I'm saying? It was just, I just in my mind, I was like, Gruggs, man up and get this fucking done, because you're on blood thinners and this could be worse than what it is right now. You know what I mean? So
they also sell juice box, like, you know, those Capri Sun things, those little, they sell water, survival water that's in those little juice boxes. And they last for like 5 years. So you can buy a box of those on eBay or Amazon and just put them away, and they'll go bad. Water never goes bad, but you know, the chemicals from the packaging leaks into it eventually after a certain amount of time. But you can get that.
So check out Water to Feel. Big fan of Liquid IV. I use it in the summer because I weld. The man's a master welder.
Awesome.
Water to Feel. Yo.
That's awesome. Definitely use that Liquid IV. You know what? I go to school and I'm in medical in the school. I'm in the nurse's office all the time. Liquid IV and other companies that have that hydro powder, they send it to me as free gifts and as samples, and I give it to the nurse all the time, dude. So the kids in the school, you know what I mean, if they need it.
Oh, fantastic, man! I think I might have to get a couple of those things.
It's at Walmart. All different flavors too. So you put that in a bottle of water, like an 8-ounce or a 16-ounce bottle of water, and it's supposed to hydrate you 3 times faster.
They have Scotch flavor and beer flavor.
Yeah, Corona flavored. That's good. That's awesome.
All right, troops. Listen, man, it's been an hour. I think we got a lot of information out there. Make sure you visit Rich at True Budget EDC and Prepping. If you have any questions, let him know. He's going to have a raffle. And Rich, thank you very much, man.
All right, you're welcome. Thanks.
Did this, man. I'm glad that we did this. All right, guys, listen.
All right.
Thanks for showing up, and spread the word, man. Spread out this information if you think it's worth it, man. And again, appreciate you guys a lot. Thanks, guys. Rich,
have a good one.
Take care of yourselves. Enjoy your weekend, guys. Take care.
I'll send you the links, whatever I can send to you.
Yeah, send me all the links, and I'll make sure that I put everything up in the comments and description section, man.
All right. You guys have a good one.
All right, take care.